Welcome to Making Money with Laura Sanders, a name you can trust. With over 20 years of real estate experience and selling over 150 homes a year, Laura Sanders is the #1 RE/MAX agent in the state of Florida for 2021. Join us each week as we discuss how to make money through buying and flipping homes, to renting versus selling, and everything in between. To join the conversation, call in live 888-994-4995, Studio A.
Welcome, Ralph. You're with Prairie One Credit Union. You guys have a lot of services to offer, and I thought that this would be something that would be really good to tell our audience about because of all the different kinds of ways that they can save. So one of the things that I found after networking with Priority One for years that I thought was so interesting was that you guys offer warranties on people's cars. Like after their warranty expires, they can renew a new warranty with you guys, and it's pretty substantial and very inexpensive, which could be really helpful. Just the cost of the warranty can cover one repair right off the bat. So I'd love to talk about that and how they work. I know you're not the expert in it, but I know you know about them. So I would love to talk about that because we get a lot of calls. Everybody's getting those calls on their cell phones saying repair warranty, like we're calling about your car, like car you haven't even owned in years. But how do you know who to trust? And I know that I could tell my audience they can trust you guys. So let's talk about those.
That's exactly right. First, to begin, maybe a lot of people don't know what a credit union is, and it's pretty much like a bank, but we're a not-for-profit bank, which means that we're more focused on our members in the community. That's just like a basic definition, so people hear credit unions, they don't really kind of maybe know for sure, what we're about. And yes, we do have great extended warranties, and a lot of people don't realize that. And you have a used car, and you're getting these offers from all these different, people that you have no idea who they are, where they came from. And there's a lot of fraud out there. So why not, get a product from somewhere that you trust or somewhere that's been referred? We do have a great extended warranty program, and, you have an older car that you've already had factory warranty run out on you, and you want to keep the car and it's paid off sometimes, and it's a few years old. I would definitely recommend, because I've seen a lot of the bills or a lot of what's covered by this product, and like you said, sometimes with just your first repair, it covers what you paid for the warranty, and it's a great peace of mind.
So which this would also go hand in hand with the fact that you guys have a service that will help people find cars as well.
Absolutely. So we have a really good car loan program. We have very competitive rates. Coming from a few years back when the rates were almost nothing, now that the interest rates are a little bit higher, people sometimes say, oh my goodness, but the economy is where it is, and the rates have gone up a little bit, but we offer very, very competitive rates. And we do have a service that helps our members purchase a car, negotiate that car, so they get a good deal on the vehicle, and they're called auto advisors. And usually the process is that reach out to the credit union, whether it's via phone through our contact center or online through our web page, and you apply. We'll try to get you approved, and then at that point, then we'll refer you to our auto advisor program, so they can help you.
I know that rates get taken into categories, right? If you have no credit score, you're considered to be a C category, right? So
that's correct.
It's not bad credit, it's just no credit.
Right. So we have most financial institutions have tiered rates depending on the person's credit, and our rates, if you have good credit, they're in the 5 and 6s depending on the term, but they're really great rates.
Okay, so if you ended up in that category where you're in that C category where you have no credit score, what would something like that look at? 9, 10%?
Actually, it would be closer to 8 in the 8s. Somewhere in like 8.25, 8.5 for the most part, yes.
Now, if you have bad credit, let's say your credit score is in the 500s, would you not even touch them? Would you still touch them, but it would be a very high rate?
So we pride ourselves to be what we call common sense underwriters, which means that even if your credit score is low, we will still look at the loan and we'll try to see what other attributes the loan has, that whether it's a strong down payment, employment stability, things like that that will hopefully get you approved, even though your score may not be a great score. So we'll definitely make an effort to get our members approved.
Okay. So that's good to know that you guys are, because you're smaller. You're not like a big, like you're not Bank of America. You're not
Right.
Chase. You're
Right.
so you have
We're,
3 locations.
we have 2 locations. We're
Okay.
community. We have our main offices in Sunrise, and we have a branch in Coral Springs. So that's it. We're small. We're small. We know our
So,
members by name.
but anybody can join across the United States or just in Florida. Like, how does that work?
So we call it our field of membership. So in order to qualify to be a member, you have to either live or work in the Tri-County area, so Dade, Broward, Palm Beach County.
Okay. And let's just say, though, I work in Palm Beach County, but my job sends me off for travel and they're spending 5 months in like North Carolina. Would you finance a car in North Carolina, or no, it really still
Yeah.
needs to be here?
As long as you have your membership established and you qualify for membership, you could finance a car through a dealership in anywhere. Sometimes it's a little more complicated of a process than a local dealership, but we'll definitely help you if the dealership beyond Florida is able to do the transaction.
So, what would you suggest for someone? Give you an example. Like, I went to go buy my lease out because the same car was going to be twice the payment. When I went to go buy the lease out, they gave me a very difficult time. They
Yes.
didn't want me to use you guys to do the loan. They said to
Yes.
me, they said, we have to approve them as someone to do your loan. I was like, why would you need to approve them to do my
Right.
loan when I'm purchasing? And of course, it's a lease. So they
Yeah.
have the right to say whether or not they'll even let me purchase my lease out, which that was interesting.
And here's the deal. This is kind of a new thing because it wasn't the case in the past. In the past, your lease came up and you decided whether you wanted to turn it in or buy it, and then if you wanted to buy it, you went ahead and it was a very easy process. What happened was after COVID, cars started to get very, very expensive. The dealers realized that they could take the car back and make a lot more money than if they sold it to you at the contract price that they had offered it to you when you first initiated the lease. So it behooves them for you to turn it in. They're very happy when you're turning in the car because they'll make thousands of dollars. So if you have a lease and when you see what your residual at the end is and what you can buy it for, I would advise everybody to go in and check out the NADA value out there. Even if you don't want the car, you can buy it and sell it, and make a few $1,000s. But the dealers will give you a hard time. But you just have to kind of be persistent and say, no, I want to buy it and this is my credit union, I've been approved. And, just speak to a supervisor, whatever you have to do. But they'll definitely give you a hard time, unfortunately.
But you could potentially just do the financing there and refinance it right away with you guys within a few days. But I guess you just need to look at their paperwork and make sure it doesn't have. I've never heard
Right.
of I've never heard of a
Yes.
prepayment on a loan for a car, but anything's possible these days.
Right, and then they're also maybe adding certain fees that you don't want to see. Like that's what normally I advise somebody that is purchasing a car, and not a lease buyout, but just like a regular purchase, and you need to buy it on the spot. And sometimes it's just you want to buy it, you buy it there, and then you come back and you refinance it with us, and that's fine. With a lease buyout, you have to be extra careful for the fees because they want to make that money, so they're going to try to add a fee to the contract.
Right. You know what I thought was funny is that when you go to buy a car and they ask you for your down payment, right? They'll take a private check. They've never
Yes.
not said they won't take a private check. So when they wouldn't let me finance with you guys, I said, okay, I pulled out my checkbook and I said, I'll just write you a check for it. And they said, no, you can't do that. And I was like, what? They would do
will tell
anything,
you whatever. Yes, they will
anything
fight
to
you.
not let me do this.
Absolutely, they want that money, and sometimes it's considerable.
Right.
Sometimes it could be a couple thousand, but sometimes it could be like 7 or 8 grand, and that's a lot of money.
Yeah, it's a lot of money. So we're going to go to commercial break, but when we come back, I want to talk about home equity lines and your underwriting process and how that looks and how you can actually help people to save money, especially right now where it doesn't make sense to refinance when you have 2 3/4, but you still need a little cash to do something. So when we come back,
Right.
we'll talk about that, but stay tuned to see some of our great sponsors.
Whether you're buying, selling, refinancing, or building your dream home, you have a lot riding on your loan specialist. Max Fish, a top 1% mortgage loan officer in the nation, will give you a same-day qualifying quote. Max Fish is committed to providing his customers with mortgage services that exceed their expectations. Ensuring that you make the right choice for you and your family is his ultimate goal. Contact Max Fish today at 954-729-6933 or max.fisch@nwmcorp.net.
At JK Closing Attorneys, we do all of the same things that a title company does, but with the benefits of being a law office. We can help with residential real estate, short sales, commercial real estate, refinances, 1031 exchanges, and FIRPTA withholding.
Contact JK Closing Attorneys today at 954-332-3111. Again, that is 954-332-3111.
You have been watching Making Money with Laura. For more information, contact Laura Sanders at 954-650-0827 or visit her website at lauraess.com. And now back to the show.
Hi, everyone, and welcome back to Making Money with Laura Sanders, and I am your host, Laura Sanders. Why do I do this? Well, mainly because I'm a realtor, and I'm looking for you to think about me when you're thinking about real estate and when you're thinking about hiring a realtor to buy or sell a home. Are you thinking about somebody that knows the ins and outs of real estate, who knows how to keep you from getting sued, who knows what it takes to sell a condo, why you would want to know what it takes to sell a condo, and all the things you think you know, but you really just don't, and how to get that buyer or seller to be approved to make sure that everything goes smoothly. So again, if you're thinking about buying or selling, think Laura Sanders, 954-650-0827. Be a part of my real estate family. Again, Laura Sanders, 954-650-0827. And I want to welcome back. We have Ralph with Priority One Credit Union, which years ago, I was their foreclosure realtor many years ago. And
Many
they've been
months
very...
ago.
They've been very fortunate to not have any foreclosures. I always
Yes.
remember the one we kept thinking there was a dead person in the freezer, and we actually did find ashes, and you did try to return we did try to return those ashes too, but I guess nobody
Yes.
wanted them. So, but we kept saying, we think there's a dead person in this house. It was weird. It was scary. So
Yes.
anyway,
We really try to avoid the foreclosures, and technically those few ones that we had at that time were mainly people had passed away, and since the properties had devalued, there was no equity. Nobody wanted them, so they gave them back to us pretty much.
yeah, it was hard back
Yeah,
then,
with
but
that. Yeah,
now everybody
tough time.
wants real estate. So let's talk about
Absolutely.
real estate. Let's talk about, I know first of all, you do first mortgages, but you do it through another company. Is that not true?
That is correct. We have a partner, just like with the Cardinals. We have auto advisors. We have a partner that works with credit unions that helps our members go through that
Okay.
process.
Is there, what kind of special, like what makes it advantageous for them to utilize that partner rather than go to a different loan officer?
For the same reasons that we talked about the extended warranties earlier, you really want somebody that you can trust, that is coming from a place that's reputable, because there are so many things that can go wrong, as you know, in the real estate business with a mortgage. And they a lot of times get promised a lot of things that when you're at the closing table, by that time it's too late. You sit there and you either sign or you don't.
I could think of a specific bank that happens, but I'm not going to say their name.
We're not saying the names,
No,
but
we're
yeah,
not going to say
you need
names.
to work with somebody that's reputable and and somebody that's knowledgeable, that knows about the different products to just help you through that very complicated process.
Yeah. And then the other thing is, in which I personally have done with you, your company, is equity lines. And,
Yes.
you know, there's no cost involved really. You don't charge, I mean, I don't even think you're charging like title. Are you? Like, there's like no
Nothing.
cost as long as you
We have
keep it for a certain
promotion.
time, right?
Yes, if so, I have to keep it for 24 months. We do have the promo that we cover all the fees. And speaking of the HELOC program, this is the time. This is the time for HELOCs because most people out there were able to. I mean, if you're lucky, you're able to secure a mortgage at
A
two and
ridiculous
three
rate.
quarters, three and a half.
Yeah.
So you don't want to refinance if you want to make some repairs or add a pool or whatever the case may be. Just get tapped to your equity. It's not a great idea now to refinance that 3% mortgage into 7.5%
Right.
mortgage. It would make no sense. So you apply for an equity loan for that, 40, 50, 80 grand, or maybe sometimes a little more if you want, an investment. You have an investment or something coming up. It's a great way to tap your equity.
Yeah, and that's something that also, you know, it goes based on now a lot of places do their equity lines on prime plus one. What is prime
Right.
looking at today? And are you prime plus one or are you just prime?
Prime right now is we're looking at 8.5, which is rather high.
Okay.
But it's been higher in the past, so it's it could be worse. And from what it seems like, it's gonna kind of stay there for a little bit and then start going down. I think we've reached the top from the talks from the Fed has been kind of hinting at. And our product is prime plus zero. If you have a good credit, it'll be prime plus zero. The credit's a little lacking. It might be a little more. It might be prime plus a quarter, plus a half, or plus one. But we do have for good credit, prime plus zero.
Okay. So, and that's another thing that you actually look at the whole picture. I mean, if they don't have great credit, I guess you're looking at, well, why do they not have great credit? Is it because maybe that
Yes.
there's some medical bills on there that aren't being paid? What would be something that
Yeah,
you would look at that wouldn't have good credit that would create that? Like an example.
so many things. It could be medical collections, which happens so often, with our issues with insurance. It could be student loans, and these things to many underwriters, they're not as important, at least to us, to our underwriters. They're not as important to you not being able to pay your car or your credit cards. So, if you have that and it drops your score, we'll still hopefully be able to approve you. And again, sometimes we understand that people go through tough times. So if you have some issues that were 5 years ago and you kind of let us know what was happening, we will definitely try to work with you because we do understand that these things happen. So just because you were going through a hard time a few years back doesn't mean that you can't pay your loan now. So we'll try to see what happened in the past and try to see what your current picture is, and we'll make a decision based on that.
Aren't you one of the underwriters, Ralph?
Maybe. I hope.
So, what other products? The other thing. See, there's so much that you guys offer, and I'm telling you, like, people just don't know. The other thing is that I actually got $100 in my account the other day.
Oh, from a membership drive, right?
There was what was it for? It was for like referring a new business account or new, not business, but a new account
Yes.
or something. And so it was in, and
Yes.
it had a name on it. It said like not the person's name. It said what it was for, like for $100 for something.
Yes. We actually had that. It just ended the beginning of this month. It's called the membership drive, and our great marketing department has those several times a year. Actually, I just found out that we're having our next one between February 1st and March 28th of next year. We're going to have a membership promo, a membership drive, where if you're in good standing, you're a member, and you refer another member, you'll receive $50, and the new person will receive $50.
So look, you can tell anybody out there that Laura Sanders referred you. And when you call me and I know that you got your referral, I'll give you back $25. So then I still make $25.
There you go. That's a great negotiation tactic.
So we're actually running out of time. I told you this was going to go fast, and we really didn't even get to
did.
talk about, we did not get to talk about everything, but I do
No, we
appreciate
have
you
so much
coming.
more.
we're going to have to do this again. So now that you know it's not so bad, everybody gets so nervous about this. But now that you know it's not so bad, we're going to have you come back. We're going to talk more about all the things that Priority One does. So I want to thank you so much for being on the show tonight. And I want to wish you a happy holidays. And I will talk to you soon. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Laura. It's been a pleasure. Thank you.
Same here. Thank you. And just for everybody else, if you're thinking about making a move, don't make a move without Laura Sanders, because that would be not a very smart move. So again, Laura Sanders, RE/MAX Direct. Can't wait to see you next week. Have a great night, everyone.
Thank you for tuning in for Making Money with Laura Sanders, a name you can trust. To join the conversation, call us at the studio, 888-994-4995 Studio A, or contact Laura directly at 954-650-0827. Laura Sanders, a name you can trust.